Hello class, in this video I'm going to teach you the next subtopic for chapter 6. We are now still in chapter 6, acid base kan? Acid, base and also salts. Okay, to continue our lesson, let's look at this one 6.4, chemical properties of acids and alkalis. This one is notes from Cikgu Azmi's book, The Module Kimia, page 140. I will explain to you how to do the exercise. So, throughout the exercise, you are going to understand, oh, begitu pula sifat kimia acid dan base, begitu. Okay, so let us look at the first one, chemical properties of acid dulu. Okay, reaction number 1. Chemical properties adalah sifat-sifat kimia yang kita boleh nampak bila dia bertindak balas bah. Okay, so tindak balas pertama apa? Reactions of acid with reactive metal to form salts and hydrogen gas. Ini yang pertama. Acid can react with metal to form salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, so ini adalah tindak balas pertama dan the notes here adalah yang lebih detail. Apa yang berlaku? Acid contohnya HX. HX tu adalah apa-apa jenis asid lah. X tu adalah kamu boleh ganti. Contohnya H apa? HCl kah? H2SO4 kah? Ataupun HNO3 kah? Okay, itu contoh. HX tu hanya contoh. And reactive metal. Apa itu metal? Sebarang logam. Logam tu apa? Yang macam begini. Zinc metal or magnesium strip, aluminium, zinc metal, iron strip, itu adalah logam. So when acid react with metal, they can form salts and also hydrogen gas. Produk dia adalah salt and hydrogen gas, and this is the general equation. Macam mana? Iaitu daripada logam, any metal react with any acid will form salt. Okay, perhatikan di sini ada MX. Apa itu MX? I will show you in a while. Sebenarnya dia adalah M tu gabungan metal and X tu adalah daripada logam punya anion. Kan just now I told you HX2 can be HCl or HNO3. So this Cl and this NO3 sebenarnya adalah dia punya anion. Jadi kita gabungkan and also hydrogen gas. Okay, cikgu bagi satu contoh di sini. Zinc metal and hydrochloric acid, when they react with each other, they can form this salt and hydrogen gas. Ini adalah acuan dia. You need to follow this one. Salt and hydrogen gas. So you need to form. You need to form the products according to this reaction. Inilah sifat kimia asid yang pertama. Inilah tindak balas mereka yang pertama. Tindak balas asid yang pertama. Okay, so macam mana boleh terbentuk ZnCl2? Okay, cikgu ringkaskan dia begini. Zinc ni kan, zinc ni adalah Zn2+, right? And then H ni adalah H plus dengan Cl minus kan? So, when you want to find the product, bila mau cari produk kan, you need to combine the positive and the negative one. Begitu. So, you will have ZnCl. Kenapa ada dua? Because the 2+, you drag it to the right side. And then this H pergi mana? After the Zn and Cl bertindak balas, so the H is going to form hydrogen gas according to the acuan dia. Okay? Okay, so that's the first reaction of acid. The first reaction of acid. After that, you're going to have to answer the chemical test to identify the presence of acid. Actually, it's very easy guna kayu uji saja, okay? Kayu uji, and when you see this one pop sound is heard, you not understand already kan? Apa ujian yang digunakan untuk tes hydrogen gas? Nina, hydrogen gas kan ada hydrogen gas. So we want to test it. Sama ada betul ke tidak hydrogen gas yang hadir? Okay, so you try to answer this question. Tindak balas 2, the second reaction. Acid can react with any base ataupun alkali. Alkali adalah base yang larut dalam air kan? Okay, so this reaction, dia punya nama adalah neutralization. So for the second reaction of acid kan, acid can react with bases or alkali. So the name is neutralization. The product for this reaction adalah salt and water. Kalau tadi kan in first reaction, ingat tak? Acid react with the metal, reactive metal to produce salt and also hydrogen gas. Itu yang pertama. You need to remember the hasil, okay? Yang kedua pula, hasil dia adalah salt and water. So ini adalah dia punya acuan lah, basic dia. LO is the base. Okay, ataupun LOH. Kemudian HX is the acid. So what will happen is you will mix the L base together with the anion from the acid. Cation from the base react with combine with the anion from the acid. Dapatlah LX and water. So let me show you an example over here. Sodium oxide powder and hydrochloric acid react with each other, produce salt and also water. Remember, the cation from the base will combine with the anion from the acid. So you will have your salt. So for the H and O, the remaining two, they will combine to form water. So good luck on completing all the ABCD. And this one, the third reaction for acid. Reaction of acid with metal carbonate. Okay, so the products are salt, carbon dioxide, and water. Ini banyak sikit. Ada banyak sikit. So apa yang berlaku adalah when you put copper carbonate ataupun metal carbonate, you react it with nitric acid, you will have salt, carbon dioxide, and also water. So those are the three reactions sebenarnya. So now you understand that for chemical properties of acid ada tiga. Number one, when acid react with alkali. Number two, when acid reacts with metal. And number three, when acid reacts with metal carbonate. Apa yang akan terjadi? So when acid and alkali, you will have salt. Ini pun you will have salt, and this one also you will have salt, kan? But for metal, hydrogen. For alkali, it's water, hasil sampingan dia. For metal carbonate, you have carbon dioxide and water. That's all. Okay, but the exercises in this module are going to help you understand more. Okay, so please complete this exercise as well. Let us look at this one. If you are required to describe one chemical test that can be used to identify the presence of acid atau the presence of acid ataupun the presence of carbon dioxide gas, 6 markah ni. So how to do that? Pour 2 cubic centimeter of hydrochloric acid into the test tube that contain copper 2 carbonate powder. Collect the gas release. Remember that if acid react with copper carbonate, ini adalah metal carbonate kan? So refer balik to this acuan here. When acid reacts with metal carbonate, any metal carbonate, asalkan ada carbonate, memang kamu akan dapat carbon dioxide gas dan ada hasil sampingan air lagi. And don't forget, salt itu wajib ada lah, wajib ada. So macam mana mau test kehadiran gas carbon dioxide? So these are the steps. 6 markah. Okay, kasih react dulu your acid and also copper 2 carbonate. Di mana? Dalam test tube. How much? 2 cubic centimeter only. Sebab test tube kan kecil. Don't use more than 20. Don't use more than 10. Okay. Collect the gas release. Gas yang release tu adalah carbon dioxide lah because ada carbonate. Pass through the gas release into a test tube containing lime water. So actually what happened is the gambar aja is like this. Acid and then copper 2 carbonate kan? And then when they react, they will release carbon dioxide gas. Flow it into the lime water. So what will happen is colorless gas bubble will be released. Flow the gas through the lime water, 1 markah. The gas turns into lime water the gas turns lime water into a chalky ataupun cloudy solution. Akan menjadi keruh. Okay, so that's the third reaction for acid. Remember, acid and alkali, acid metal, acid and metal carbonate. Yang penting semua hasil dia mesti ada salt. Yang membezakan adalah dia punya hasil-hasil sampingan. Itu saja. Okay, sifat kimia alkali, the chemical properties of alkali, there are 3 as well. Number 1, reaction of alkalis and ammonium salt. Okay, let us look at the detail over here. When an alkali react with ammonium salt, what will happen is you will get salt, ammonia gas, and also water. Okay, ingat tu ammonium salt react with alkali, you will have salt, ammonia, and water. So what are the observation? Observation are yang kita boleh lihat, yang kita boleh hidu, begitu kan? So in this reaction, memandangkan ada ammonia, hasil dia ada ammonia, so ada pungent smell, bau yang tajam. And also colorless bubble gas will be released. This is the reaction over here. You will have ammonium salt, dipanaskan together with your alkali. Dan kamu akan terhidu bau yang tajam tu. Itu ammonia lah tu. So, ujian pengesahan. How to confirm that the gas release adalah ammonia? Okay, test number 1. Mix ammonia gas with the concentrated hydrogen chloride in the boiling tube. Ambil gas yang terbebas tu. Okay, kumpulkan dia and then you will mix it with the hydrogen chloride yang pekat. Dalam boiling tube. White smoke is formed. Kalau ada white smoke, itu ammonia gas. Test number 2. This one, most people do this. Put a red moist litmus paper into a test tube that contain ammonia gas. Ammonia gas turns moist red litmus paper to blue. Ammonia gas sebenarnya bersifat alkali. Okay, so apabila kamu letak moist litmus paper ke dalam gas yang dikumpulkan tadi, what will happen is that ammonia gas yang kamu kumpul tu daripada yang kamu dapat from the tindak balas antara ammonium salt and alkali, kan ada ammonia gas. Okay, so untuk tes yang ini, what we do adalah we put a red moist litmus paper. That red moist litmus paper will turn to blue. So you do this exercise as well, okay, because you already know that when an ammonium salt, ini ammonium salt lah, okay, and this one is ammonium chloride. Ada macam-macam ammonium salt, ammonium nitrate, ammonium sulfate. When all of these ammonium salt react with alkali, apa alkali? Sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, barium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. When they react, they will form salt, mesti ada, ammonia gas, mesti ada, and also water. So you try to complete the exercise. Okay, the second reaction for alkali adalah reaction of alkali with metal ion. Metal tu adalah positively charged ions, kan? Metal ion. Okay, so what will happen? When metal ion react with alkali, they will form hydroxide metal. So, jangan tengok yang ini. Okay, mari kita pergi tengok this one. The ionic equation over here. The explanation, okay? Reaction of metal ion with the hydroxide ion will produce precipitation, mendakan insoluble metal hydroxide. Okay, look at this one. This is from the metal. Okay, I give you example. Contohnya adalah Cu lah, Cu2+. Dengan hydroxide. Okay, hydroxide tu dari mana? Hydroxide tu kan berasal daripada alkali. We only take the anion part. Okay, LOH tu contohnya apa-apa alkali KOH kah ataupun NaOH kah, like that. Okay, so we only take the hydroxide part from the alkali. We will combine it with the metal. So you will have insoluble. Ini insoluble ni metal hydroxide. Look at the equation over here. Okay, look at this exercise. Copper chloride and potassium hydroxide. Tulis dulu persamaan kimia dia. So how to do this? Copper chloride, CuCl2, and potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide react will form salt and also water, kan? Salt and also water. So, apa yang terjadi? Look at this one. Cu2 plus is the cation from the metal. Okay, Cu2 plus is the cation from the salt. And then OH minus is the anion from the alkali. So what happened? You just take the two of them, you combine it. Okay, that metal hydroxide form itu adalah tidak larut. So what is the color of this metal hydroxide? Cu2 plus adalah blue color. So you mention here blue precipitate form. Okay, so try to do the exercise as well for the second and the third one. Ingat, now you are in the second chemical properties for alkali. Let us go to the third chemical properties for alkali. Third chemical properties, reaction of alkali and acid to produce salt and water. This one is very basic, and this is called neutralization. Any acid with any alkali will react with each other, will form salt and water. So let us look at the chemical equation over here. This is an alkali. This is an acid. So when they react with each other, NaCl is the salt, and then the remaining is the water. So you try to complete all the exercises as well. So in this short notes from module Cikgu Azami, you actually have learned 3 types of chemical properties of acid and also alkali. Okay, I hope you can understand. Always refer to this one. Always refer if you forgot already. And then you will need to answer soalan 24 as well. Okay, in page 146. That's all for today.